And we're live.
We are so live.
Another week, another show,
Another
2 Sharks
ouchie.
wins.
Another goddamn ouchie.
For you.
Uh, it's a Niners game. Of course somebody got hurt.
Yeah.
Two somebodies, three somebodies. Jesus.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's SVT. It's Monday night. It's live. If you haven't already, if you're new to the show, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you guys haven't noticed already, we're starting to break the live show down into playlists. So if you're a fan of the San Jose Sharks, you'll see there's a playlist for the Sharks, there's a playlist for the Raiders, there's a playlist for the 49ers. So all the teams that we like to cover, mostly Bay Area stuff. But the Raiders are out there in desert land, and then you got the Eagles on the East Coast. But Tyler's an Eagle fan, so we cover them too. So if you like what we do, subscribe, like, because we're gonna have more content coming out. All right, Vince. How was your weekend, buddy? Let's catch up a little bit.
Weekend was fine other than those 3 hours I spent watching the Niners.
Yeah,
That was disappointing, but other than that, pretty good. Yeah, just doing the things. How about you,
yeah.
bud?
Um, you know, just finishing touches on the wedding. As
Right.
some of you know, I'm getting married next weekend, so no show next Monday.
That's right.
And then after the wedding, we're gonna be off to Maui celebrating our uh our nuptials. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be official. So gonna be in Maui, so very excited for that. And yeah, just a great way to kind of close off this week and begin what's next chapter in my life. So just very blessed and very excited. So with that said, let's talk some sports, Vince.
Yeah.
Why don't we rip the band-aid off? Give me some NFL scores, and then we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
Tyler is not on the show today. That's because he was in Philly watching his Eagles get a W over the Giants 38-20. Congrats to him. Good for you, bud. Happy for you. And now let's move on to the pain that is the Niners. They go down to Houston and they just didn't show up actually. They must have forgot to get off the bus cuz they lose 26-15. George Kittle got a touchdown right before halftime to cut the lead to 16-7 on National Tight End Day. So good for you, bud, on the holiday you created.
Yeah,
Getting, celebrating your own damn holiday. That's good. Diamador Lenore got an interception shortly after that. That ends the streak of 14 games without an interception for the 49ers. That's the longest in NFL history. So that little bit of ineptitude has come to an end. Thank gods. Okay. Been praying to Zeus, Thor, Jesus, and every single god there is to put an end to that streak. Must have finally found the right one in Ganesh, I guess. Got that one done. Um, all right. So unfortunately, as I highlighted earlier, there were a couple of injuries. D Winters went down in the third. Jordan Elliott went down in the second. Bryce Huff didn't play at all because of the hamstring last week. So uh the Niners did not have a sack the entire game. They only got they only touched the quarterback twice the entire game. CJ Stroud was able to deliver the ball all game without like so much as like barely a pressure at all the entire game. He looked like he looked like the quarterback everybody thought he was going to be halfway through his rookie season. Like he was incredible. He looked great, and the Niners made him look great. That offensive line, all of a sudden, there was a lot of questions about it in Houston. Uh, you know, uh, Not after
not
what the
this week.
Niners couldn't do. Uh, it was an unfortunate week. The Niners just could not generate enough pressure with their with their down four linemen. When they did send in extra pressure, CJ Stroud was able to find the release valve. That's what that the one touchdown, I believe it was let me look it up. Yeah, that was the Xavier Hutchinson in the third quarter. Yeah, that was the 30-yard touchdown blown coverage. That was the that was that 30-yarder. That so man, that's what extended that lead to 23-7. That was kind of the dagger right there. When that one hit, I was like, ugh, brutal. The Niners did come back on the next drive in the third quarter, cut the lead. You get the 2-point conversion as well. The other tight end, Jake Tonjes, gets a touchdown on National Tight End Day. But it's just the what you want to do in football, right, is make your opponent use their left hand, right? You take away their best option, right? You want to take and that's what the Texans did defensively is they took away Christian McCaffrey. CMC was, 8 rushes, 25 yards is what the stats I'm looking at. And then on the receiving end, he had 43 yards on 3 catches. So, like, he had the 27-yard catch, but other than that, not much doing there. So he did he wasn't nearly as effective as he was the week before against Atlanta. And as unfortunate as all of this is, the Niners are 5-3. Their next game is in New York against the Giants, the same Giants that just lost to the Eagles, and they also just lost Cam Scatterboo,
Yeah.
their
Who
meathead,
was doing great for
rebounds.
me in fantasy.
Yeah, I had him in one of my chicken nugget leagues, man, and it was a lot of fun having him. But unfortunately, not no more.
Yeah.
The vibes were great for him, but that was a catastrophic leg break,
Yeah.
unfortunately for him. So the vibes are not vibing as good anymore for the Giants there. They have just Jackson Dart left for them. So as bad as the defense was there, the trade deadline is still about 9-ish days away. You need to at this point, after seeing that performance by the defense, you got to go get somebody. You don't have to trade away the farm. You don't have to risk everything, but you got to get somebody. There's somebody like Arden Key, who is a former 49er who's available. Like, he's not going to cost much to get out there. You can give up a fifth rounder or something for him. Like, I mean, there are moves to be made for sure. And I am certain that John Lynch is on the phone. He's been trying to make moves. That's there's moves out there that have to be done, that you got to get somebody to strengthen up the defensive line, because this is unacceptable. I actually pulled some stats of this is from Matt Barrows, who follows the team. The 49ers have the second fewest sacks in the league this year so far, with 9. The team with the fewest is Jacksonville, and they had their bye this week, and they have 8. Okay. So in week 2, they had 3 sacks. Every other game they had 2, 1, or no sacks. Okay. So that's unacceptable, and that includes 0 sacks this game against the Texans. So very, very unacceptable for a team that needs pressures. And that game against that week 2 game with 3 sacks, that was Nick Bosa's doing. So Nick Bosa's not walking through that door anytime soon. So you got to do something. You got to get some pressure on the quarterback. And if you're not going to do that, then you know with the way that this schedule is lined up, I've been hammering this point all year. You're still probably going to make the playoffs. The team is good enough, and the schedule is easy enough that you're still probably going to sneak into the playoffs, even if you don't win the division. If you alternate wins, you're probably going to get to 10 wins, 11 wins, and sneak into the playoffs. But then what does that do for you?
Right.
So you got to do something. If you're a playoff team, you want to make some noise if you get to the playoffs. So just making the playoffs is not good enough, right? Like, at this point, this is a team with Super Bowl aspirations when the season started. And I know it's next man up mentality, but when you're the next man up to the next man up to the next man up, and the guys standing on either side of you are also next man up to the next man up, at some point, there's only so many next man up before it really starts affecting the team, and I think we're starting to see the effects of that at this point.
Right.
And the team, the 49ers in the Shanahan era, have lost, and they showed the stat on the game. 2,036 games missed due to injury since Shanahan took over in 2017. That is by far the most in the NFL, and I don't even know who the next team is. I think it might actually be your Raiders, dude, but like they're like way far in the rearview mirror. Like we're talking like probably like 400 or 500 games back. Like it's like it's way back. Like the Niners have in the last 8-9 years been lapping the field in terms of games missed due to
Yeah.
injury. And
I'm actually
it is
starting to
big
get a
thing,
little
man.
worried about
Yeah,
the 49ers because how long, like, Bosa's starting, this is what, the second time he's gonna miss a whole season in a short 49er career so far.
yeah,
And this is, an injury that dates back to college. It's happened in high school, I believe. And it's your legs. It's not a it's just, to get to play defensive end, to play on that line, run around playing football, you need your kneecaps last time I checked. Um, but then there's like other injuries that are starting to stack up. Fred Warner, I think last year he completed the season, but he played on a broken foot or a broken
yeah,
ankle or something like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It was a broken
Um,
foot. Yeah,
so you got
13
like
games on a broken foot.
superstars, Vince. You got your
Yeah,
superstars that are
yeah.
missing
Oh, Papa G
games.
in the chat. Nick might walk through the door, but he's not playing. Yeah, thanks. Technicalities. Yeah,
So I
appreciate that.
am starting to get worried about the 49ers, like the injuries that are stacking up to their superstars. Um, because the Bosas and the Kittles and the Fred Warners, those guys just don't grow on trees.
Mhm.
And now you have the starting quarterback missing a lot of games. And I think Mac Jones has done a pretty decent job. He's done a really good job,
Yeah, he's the
but
best backup quarterback in the league, I think. You
right.
know?
But you just paid a bunch of money to Brock Purdy and he's starting to miss games. And I remember as a Raider fan going through the whole turf toe thing with Charles Woodson all the 20 years ago, whatever it was. So whenever I hear a football player saying turf toe, I always go back and think about that because I remember when Charles Woodson was like, "Oh, he should be available next week. He should be available next week." And he just like missed so many games. And as a young guy back then, as a young teenager, I was like, it's turf toe. What is going on? And that was when I really found out what turf toe is. And it's a very painful injury.
The one year that I played football, your boy Vinny G actually got turf toe.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very
and
painful.
yeah, it's not fun. I took the time off. And I actually did come back and I played. And my first game back, um, I didn't actually re-injure it. Um, I injured my shoulder instead. That's another story entirely. So yeah, that and then your boy found theater instead. But that's
Yeah.
another story entirely. Um, but yeah, there we go. Yeah. So just I guess looking forward. Um, if the Niners beat the Giants next week, they're 6-3. They're 3-0 in the division. um Losing this game, if you're gonna tell me, like it, looking forward, if they play the Giants and they win, they get the W next week. If you tell me before the season the Niners are going to be sitting 6-3, 3-0 inside the division, after 9 games, and your bye is in week 14, I'll take it. Like I'd be like, you know what? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll
Yeah.
take
With
that.
all
You
your
know?
superstars on the sideline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially if you tell me ahead of time. If you also tell me that I'm gonna lose all of these guys, and Brock Purdy's only played like 2 games or something like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm I'll take that. Okay, so um I'm gonna as you've seen before, I am one of the eternal optimists, right? Like I do try to look glass half full as often as I can, and that's kind of where I'm looking, because a lot of these injuries, like the Brock Purdy injury, Ricky Pearsall is also supposed to be coming back soon. Like they keep saying He's working back. He should be coming back soon. If both of those guys come back this coming week against the Giants, which is possible, um, all of a sudden I start to feel a little bit better about the offense at least. Still need to get a piece on the defense to help. Maybe if Bryce Huff is able to come back from that hamstring injury, we'll see. That'll help make me feel at least a little bit better, a little bit of more of a veteran presence on the defensive line. That way, take a little bit of pressure off those rookies that just couldn't generate any pressure at all against Houston.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's where I'm at. Let's talk about some of your Raiders on the you had a bye this week, so you didn't have to watch, you didn't have to take an L, but there was some news at least anyway.
We didn't take a loss on the field. Definitely took some losses off the field. Um, the Raiders, unfortunately, the first lady of the Raiders, Carol Davis, has passed away.
And that's
93
breaking
years
news, right?
93 years old. It happened, I believe, Friday, and then the Raiders made it official over the weekend. So it's very sad news. Rest in peace, Carol Davis, first lady of the Raiders, of course, uh, partner to Al Davis, owner of the Raiders, and mother to current owner Mark Davis. Um, so rest in peace. And then earlier this afternoon, I get the news that Raiders great George Atkinson passed away. So rest in peace, George. It's just really sad to it's been a rough season, but it's also been really sad to hear this news. So, the Raider family mourns, the Raider Nation mourns for these losses. Um, no easy transition, Vince, but to get back to the football side of things, the Raiders did make a signing, bringing in Tyler Lockett, and this news, I think this is going to be the best deodorant. We're going to the Super Bowl now. No, I'm just kidding. This sighting doesn't move the needle much for me. It's not the same, Tyler Lockett of 4, 5, 6 years ago. I think you're bringing him in just really for a veteran presence that you were hoping Amari Cooper was going to be. Um, I think you're just trying to maybe have a little bit of a security blanket or something soft and cuddly for Geno Smith to have a little bit of security out there or make him feel a little bit more comfortable out there. And maybe it improves a little bit. But based on what I've seen offensively, I don't think the Raiders offense is a Tyler Lockett away from cracking the code here,
Right.
with all due respect. I think the issues are more on the offensive line when now your quarterback is shell shocked. He's running around afraid. He doesn't even want to run the ball. And now he's playing hesitant. You saw in the I know there was a lot of interceptions, but you saw him trying to get the ball downfield, and now you clip those wings, and now it's just dink and dunk, and it ain't working. And the problem is that I have, and we've talked about this so much week after week. I don't understand why the Raiders keep putting Geno Smith in shotgun and pistol formation. Help the man out, put him under center, three-step drop, get the ball out. Just get the ball out, dump it off to your running back, get it to the tight end, even if it's Michael Mayer or another option, get it to Jacoby Myers, even in a short route. But the not being under center in the pistol in the shotgun, these linebackers, these defensive ends just pin their ears back and blow past the tackles, Vince. So when you're in the shotgun, it takes longer for the play to develop for the wide receivers and the tight ends and the running backs to get to their spot. It takes so much longer to develop. So you're not helping the quarterback. And the play action doesn't work. So welcome to the Raider Nation, Tyler Lockett. But I don't think it's really anything that's gonna change the offense. Really, the change needs to be put Geno under center, develop the running game. Your best option is Ashton Genty. Even in that dog crap performance last week where he only touched the ball one time in the first, 10, 15 plays or whatever it was. By the end of the game, it was only what 10, 15, 10 carries or so total. He was averaging 4 yards. So to me, it's hand him the ball three straight times, develop these three core concept plays that we're never going to pass the ball. All we're going to do is run the ball, and we're going to run it down your throat because you can't stop it because we mastered these three running plays. At least you have that. I mean, at least get 100 yards on the ground, even in a losing effort. Develop the run, pound it into the defensive line's throat. Like, I cannot underestimate that enough. It makes no sense to me that your number one offensive threat, Brock Bowers, is out. Jacoby Myers is out. Your offensive line can't have any pass protection. Your quarterback is struggling, and you show up last week and your game plan is we're going to feed Trey Tucker and pass the ball around against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the game plan? Like, come on. I'm here sitting on a couch doing a podcast, and I know that wasn't going to work. What do you think the Kansas City Chiefs were thinking? They were feasting. So it's just the issues are deeper than a wide receiver away from unlocking Geno Smith. You got to fix the offensive line. You got to fix everything. What this offense is trying to be. I thought running the ball would be much better because when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, Chip Kelly, they ran the ball really well. They got the ball in LaShawn McCoy's hands a lot, and we're not seeing that. And I would think that Chip Kelly would be creative enough to put a little bit of a wrinkle into the game of okay, the typical pro offense is not working right now. The shotgun's not working. The pistol's not working. Let me pull the Oregon Ducks, the Philadelphia Eagles, put some urgency on the offense. Put that. Remember, he used to run that 2 minute offense pretty much the entire game.
Yep.
It generated points, it generated energy, it generated yards, and you just keep going out there doing the same old same, and it ain't working. So I'm kind of like confused on you have all of these options, all of this creativity in your back pocket, and we're not seeing any of it. And that's what's really mind blowing. And then I think because of the offense is struggling so bad, you're putting the defense in a position to fail because they're just on the field so much that if your defense is on the field that long, they're gonna give up a big play. So that's what I think they need to do is change up the offense, and it starts with putting Geno under center and helping him out with the play action pass. I think Tyler Lockett is still a serviceable wide receiver. He's far from what he once was, but he could still move the sticks. And having a healthy Jacoby Myers and a Brock Bowers and some of these other guys, you have the opportunity to move the sticks. It'd be great to get 30-yard bombs and 40-yard bombs and all those things. But hey, first downs come 10 yards at a time for everybody. You gotta move the sticks, run the ball. You got to get better on first and second down by running the ball and converting on third downs. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't really know how this is going to impact next week's game, Vince. I just think what I would like to see is just more consistency and a bigger commitment to the run game. And whatever Geno Smith is, it is what it is. It's half the season pretty much. It has not been a good showing. It would be great to stack some wins. But I don't think even if you go on a roll here, I don't think you're going undefeated the rest of the season. So a wild card spot, I can't see that happening. So I just want to see the young guys play. I want to see if you're going to keep the highest paid coordinator offensively in place. I want to see some changes to the offense. I want to see some creativity. I want to see a commitment to the run game. And I want to see these young guys develop. And maybe some of these young guys that are on the offensive line that you drafted this past season, maybe they need to get some burn because we need to see if they're going to be ready for next season. That's all I got in Raider land, man. It's
Fair enough. Yeah. Just one last note for the NFL in general. Nick Mangold also passed away from kidney disease. Very unfortunate news, you know. So rest in peace to him, and thoughts to his family. So
Yep.
that being said, I think let's switch gears to the hard court. Big breaking news this past week out of the NBA. Before we even get to the Warriors games, uh, basically, like just as the season was starting, this breaking news came out. There was some arrests, big time arrests. So Hall of Fame player and current Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, a former player who was a teammate of LeBron James and was once his personal shooting coach, were charged as federal prosecutors um, in unsealed documents. And here's the accusations. I have this separately.
Okay.
Phillips was accused of participating in a rigged poker game that involved numerous members of multiple crime families. Rozier was accused of taking himself out of a game in March 2023 when he was with the Charlotte Hornets to help a co conspirator win a prop bet on his individual totals. Jones was charged for his alleged involvement in both cases and accused of selling information about LeBron James's play with the Los Angeles Lakers so bettors could take advantage of it. LeBron James was not accused of wrongdoing or directly named in the indictment of Jones. Okay? So that's that's the accusations. They were all three of them were arrested along with like a bunch of other non-basketball people. They were all arrested. I believe that was Thursday. Was when that happened, I believe. Yeah, wild stuff. So let's just start with the immediate reaction. Sam, you have some thoughts on this. So let's go
The
off.
NBA has nothing to blame except themselves, dude. I
Yep,
mean, a couple years ago, we heard about the Terry Rozier thing and that there was an investigation, blah, blah, blah. They knew, they knew. From what I understand, it was FanDuel or whoever contacted the NBA a couple years ago and said, "Hey, there's some weird bets with some of your players," and Terry Rozier was at the heart of it. So when the gambling company says something fishy is going on, and Adam Silver and the league covered it up. I mean, I remember talking about this a couple years ago, Vince, and it's not just that; it's you took the money from FanDuel, you took the money from DraftKings, you're taking the money from whatever, BetMGM, all these different companies. You're going to take their money. You're going to put players to sponsor these gambling companies because they could say whatever. They're gambling. It's gambling straight
yep,
up. There's no way around it. It's gambling. You put your players in a position to endorse them. They're put in position to get paid to be a spokesperson for this company. But then you're going to expect them to not gamble, to not do these things. It's hypocrisy at its finest, and it's not just the gambling, man. It's the other money that they take. It's the other leagues that do this. The NFL is doing it, MLB is doing it, golf is doing it. You know, not all good money is not all money is good money. And there's a lot of dirty money in the sports industry, and there's a lot of blood money in the sports industry. Um, with what's happening with Live Golf and the Saudis buying everything. Um, it's what they're doing politically, and I know this is not a political show, but these are things that our sports entertainment industry should not be involved with. And the blowback that you're getting because of this, because of the I still speak to people about golf and they don't like Live Golf. Yeah, they want to see the best golfers, but there's a lot of people that are still upset about that. Just seen the thing with the comedians going to Saudi Arabia and the blowback on that. So this is the bed you made. You reap what you sow, and this is hypocrisy to its finest. So Adam Silver, I think he's cooked, dude. I think a lot of people in the league are going to be outed and ended up being cooked. And I think it could has the potential to spill over to other leagues. I think this could potentially spill over into the NFL, into MLB, and I guarantee you those other commissioners are like scrubbing emails and sending out memos like, hey, do not get. So it's still playing on mine. So
Hold
we
on.
lost it a little bit.
Yeah. We're back.
So
We're good. Okay. Okay, we're back. We're good.
that's
We're still back, baby.
Tim's award-winning internet there.
I dropped no, I mean
It's all good. Just to wrap up, my thoughts is like, it's a bad look, man, and you don't need to take every single dime that comes across your desk. It's okay to have some integrity. It's okay to have some sense of self-respect, where the league is just so damn thirsty to take any dollar that it can get and puts any profit over people or integrity or just any of it, man. And any blowback, they deserve it. Adam Silver deserves it, and I know that, I was listening to sports talk radio all day today on different platforms. There's a lot of people that are saying he should step down. So I think those voices, as more information comes out, I think those voices are going to get louder. Um, and there's going to be more names. There's going to be more people that are coming out. Um, the FBI, it took a multi-year investigation into this. Uh, they got them. They got these people.
yeah.
They're going to fight. This is all alleged for right now. But come on, the FBI,
Yeah.
they ain't doing this song
Here's
and dance and blah blah
yeah.
blah. If they ain't got nothing on you.
The only pushback I have about the FBI thing is this FBI the only pushback is this specific FBI is uh like they've shown a propensity for being willing to in any new investigations, I would say, to be a little wary of. But if it's something that's being in the works for like the last 2 years, like this Terry Rozier thing and the Chauncey Billups thing, that I'm pretty sure they've got the goods probably on this one for sure. Like I feel like they probably like
From what I
there's
understand, it's a
definitely some smoke
multi-year
and fire on this one.
investigation.
Yeah, but it like new stuff. I'm gonna be a little like a little questioning about it or whatever. But um like anything that's been investigated for the last like 2 or 3 years before Cash Patel took over, like this guy's a little weird. But
When
anyway, that's
when
a
you
whole other
start taking
story.
the
We don't need to
money
go into
from
that.
FanDuel
Yeah,
and DraftKings and you start relocating franchise to Las Vegas,
yeah.
what do you think's gonna happen?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
do
I
you
mean, they're
think's
they're
gonna
setting
happen?
themselves up. They're setting themselves up for stuff like this to happen. And then when stuff like this happens, don't like I'm not shocked and
You're
shaken
putting Vince,
when it
you're putting a
happens.
bunch of
Yeah.
20-year-olds, 20-something-year-olds, and I know Chauncey Billups and some of these other guys are older, but you're asking all of these athletes,
Mhm.
you're putting a child in a candy store and saying, "Don't eat any of the sugar. Don't
Yeah.
have any candy."
Yeah.
Like you're a multimillionaire.
Mhm.
You have access to money, to influence, to power, to just more
To
and all of it.
to
But
lines
don't
of
don't
credit.
do it.
To
Don't touch
lines
it.
of yeah, lines of credit that these casinos are willing to give athletes too. You just say, "Oh, I'm
Right.
a professional athlete." That's how freaking Evander Kane got himself in trouble,
Right.
So yeah, it's just bad all around. And yeah, I mean, even if you don't like get yourself in legal trouble with the FBI, you can still get yourself in plenty of other trouble Like,
Well, there was
yeah,
the player, who was it? He had he had a, I forget his name. Couple years ago he got suspended because he was throwing games, and then he got targeted again by the mafia, and they were threatening him because he did this before. So they were like, "Well, you're gonna do it again." And he was like, "No, but if you
is it
don't,
Jonte Porter?
yeah."
Yeah,
So then I believe he became a informant. Um, but it's
and it,
just like,
yeah,
once you cross that line, as a player, and you're pulling yourself out of games and this and that, like, you can't walk that back. You can't go back to normal. You
yeah,
can't go back to sportsmanship. And that's the other side of events that really pisses me off is the NBA, the players made this huge stink about rest, about playing time, about we don't want to play back to backs. And the owners, the league gave in because the NBA is pretty much a players league. Like, they pretty much control everything. And how do you now how do you walk this back? Because you're getting more rest than you ever have before. And this is not going to be the last time this comes up, dude. This is not going to be the last time we hear about a player that's on the take from the mafia or gambling or pulling themselves out of games or whatnot. Um, I know it's always been there. Um, there's always been an element of the gambling and the criminal enterprise around sports because sports is $1 billion industry and they're each league. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be a criminal element when there's something that large. When there's a dollar to be made, there's going to be a criminal that's going to try to push the boundaries and all that, right? So, but I find it hypocritical of the league um to take the money that's above board, but and put your players out there, then say, but don't do any parlays, don't do any gambling. These are the most competitive people in the world to get where they're at. And I mean, it was on The Last Dance how they talk about Michael Jordan was the most competitive poker player on the airplane. Or, we hear about the ping pong table games in the locker room, or
even the coin flipping game with the
you know what I
security
mean?
guy.
Like, so now you're gonna put these guys in a room of poker players and um other people that are in the gambling industry and say, no, 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 don't compete in that. So I know Kenny Smith said it was about, he thinks there's like a gambling addiction. I think there's like I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's a gambling addiction. I think it's an addiction to competitiveness, addiction to winning. And then you get so deep that you can't say no. We don't know. We don't know what these people said to Chauncey Billups and what threats they made. You're not immune to that stuff, but once you cross that line,
Yeah,
you can't go back, dude. You can't go back. And so I just find it all hypocritical.
yeah.
And it's gonna blow up even more.
Yeah, I think we need to put a button on this for
Um,
now. Obviously we're gonna revisit this because there's no way in hell this story is done. But we can
I
circle
know we're gonna
back.
transition to the Warriors. I'm not lying, Vince. I'm like praying that there's no Warriors or former Warriors where I'm like, please no, not Steph
Please.
Curry.
Yeah, no. Like, honestly, like I I I may commit seppuku.
You know how
If Steph
crushing that
Curry's
would
on
be,
that
dude.
list, like, I mean, dear God,
Yeah, you know how crushing that would be.
seriously, like, yeah. Please don't let. Oh, please no, please no.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, so let's talk about the Warriors and some of the stuff they've done on the court. Okay. So they started the season off on Tuesday at the Lakers. They get the W, 119-109. Jimmy Butler had himself a game, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Uh Jonathan Kuminga had 17, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka Doncic on the other side had 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Just that one assist away from a triple double there for Luka. So that was a hell of a game for Luka, but LeBron did not play in that game. But that was a hell of a game, wasn't it? That was a lot of fun. Then on Thursday, the Warriors follow that up with the overtime thriller win at home, the home opener against Denver. You get the 6-point win, 137, 131 in overtime, like I said. Steph Curry, that was the big game for him, 42 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Jimmy Butler chipped in with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and he hit that dagger 3 in overtime. On the other side, Aaron Gordon had 50 points and 8 rebounds, and he was 10 of 11 from 3. Uh, Lord, the Warriors before this game, they were 1-9 in the previous 10 games versus Denver since the start of the 2022-23 season. So right after they won that last title, basically they've gone 1-9 against Denver until this last game. So,
Yeah.
um, okay, and then on the second end of a back-to-back on Friday, they go up to Portland and they actually lose by 20. That second quarter was kind of rough. And then in the third quarter, they kind of just exchanged blows, and then Portland kind of put it on them again in the fourth quarter, and then kind of stretched it out. Steph ended up with 35 points in that game. Jonathan Kuminga had 16. I mean, when you look at the stats going away, it's I mean, like it's I mean, and I mean, I'm just looking at it. Your turnovers. You gave the ball away 6 more
That should have
times.
been
I mean, points in
the
the paint were the big one. Like, is the big one. You lose the points in the paint battle, 66-30. Uh, fast break points, 30-16. You lose that game. You lose it there. I mean, and then yeah, personal fouls. I mean, yeah, you didn't really lose that battle. So I mean, it really, I guess that it's the points in the paint really was the biggest difference, I think, really, and then the fast break points. Those are kind of correlated, I think, you know. So yeah. So I mean, that's kind of just looking at it there, and I mean, I watched some of the highlights of that game because I was watching 1,000 other things, you know, going back and forth between everything. But yeah, so it was just the Portland game was a little bit rougher, it looks like, but just from what I saw.
real
What do
quick.
you think?
What do you know? Because we were texting a lot about Jonathan Kaminga, so let's touch on that real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jonathan Kaminga the past? It's only been 3 games, but
I watched the first 2 games. I didn't watch the Portland game, but he looked a lot more aggressive, a lot more bounce. He's just looked I don't know, money changes the man, and it changed him for the better, I guess, for this, you know, like he looks like he looks pissed off, and he's playing with that aggression, you know. I like what I've seen so far out of him. And if this is Yep. All right. Yep.
all right. I think we're back on.
Are we Yep, okay. All right, so if this is the Kaminga we're gonna get, if he's aggressive and he's pissed off and he's gonna play like this until January when we end up trading him, when we're able to trade him, I guess. We're gonna get a hell of a haul back for him, you know. So
Yeah,
this
a
is good
couple of weeks
news.
ago, Tyler asked us, you know, or maybe it was you who asked, you know, what's going to happen with Jonathan Kaminga, and we all kind of had our things to say, and it was one of two things is going to happen that you hope for is he plays really well, and he's a young guy that helps get this team over the top into a championship again, or he's going to play really good and he's going to get you a haul back. That's what you want. Those are the 2
Yep,
best case scenarios. What you
yep,
don't want
exactly.
is him standing around only looking to get easy shots and score buckets, but you're seeing the opposite. You're seeing one of the 2 good scenarios play out where he's rebounding, he's passing the ball.
Mhm.
Those are the 2, I think, most important things is that he's starting to see the floor. He's starting to work his teammates in. Um, the assist numbers I thought were really great because I never really saw him as as a guy who was getting assists, and then you see the effort on the boards, which has been really great. But
Mhm.
the stroke, I have not seen him. I'm not going to say he's a splash brother, but I've been liking
He's a
the
splash
three.
second cousin, maybe. I
Right,
don't
I
know.
like the
Yeah.
three ball. You know, it still looks a little like a little still needs a little bit of a tune-up, but I mean, he's been a much better ball player all around, and that's great. At the end of the day, as a Warriors fan, I want all the Warriors to be good because I would love to get another championship. So,
Yeah.
but it's been great to see him like put his game together, and I really do hope that I think if I had a magic wand, he would be incredible and he would stay with the Warriors. He's drafted with the Warriors. Like it's always something special about like drafting a guy, developing a guy, and seeing them become a superstar. I think that's what made, Curry so special and Draymond and Clay when he was here. And even, Kevon Looney was that, they were drafted by the Warriors and developed by the Warriors, and those guys became champions. So to see that happen with Jonathan Kaminga is great, man. I'm loving the new version, and I hope he keeps improving. I still think if the Warriors have their way, he might get traded because I think you're more than just one player away from really competing for that top spot to get over the hump. But I could be wrong. I would love to keep him and win it all with JK.
Yeah. He's looked great so far, and I'm thrilled with what we've seen out of the first 3 games. And hopefully we see it for the next 79, you know? And after that into the playoffs obviously as well. Yeah, so with that said, I believe that's kind of it for now. Just kind of bring up that the upcoming schedule. You have you're hosting Memphis on Monday tonight. You're hosting the Clippers on Tuesday. So that's those are 2 teams that we kind of have a recent history of little bit of hate, so little rivalry, little sandpaper. Um, Calling for Draymond to get his second tech of the season. Um, so that'll be fun. Gonna happen. I'm calling for it right now. It's gonna be good. Love that. Love that for us. Draymond got his first tech 7 minutes into the season, so that was you know, uh,
On brand.
exactly on brand. That's an excellent way to say that.
Yep.
On brand. Love that. Anyway, and then you're going to Milwaukee and on Thursday, and then you're in Indiana on Saturday. So that's the upcoming schedule for the week. Okay, so now let's switch over to the ice. You've got the Sharkies. Um, I'm starting the season off right. I got my win of the week, baby. Let's go. Let's effing go, baby. Okay. So let's recap the week that was. Both you and Tyler had the game against the Islanders on Tuesday for your win of the week. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen. They lose 4-3 at the Islanders, but you had goals by Colin Graff. That was a shorthanded one. And then you had Adam Gaudette scoring as well. That one had Misa getting his first NHL points. That was an assist on that one as well. So that's fun. We like that. We like that for Misa. Uh, and then Celebrini also got a goal in that game as well. And then so then the second game though of this road trip, that's the game the Rangers, the one that your boy Vinny G picked, get the win. That's the first win of the season. You had Celebrini with the Hattie. He also had 2 assists in that game, so it was a 5-point game. Will Smith had 2 goals, including the winner in overtime. William Eklund had 3 apples in that one. Adam Gaudette had a goal. Misa had another assist. On the other side, Taylor Radish had 3 goals. I have 3 apples here. It should be goals. Matt in that game, Matt Rempe and Ryan Reeves had a scrap in the first period, and then Rempe left the game with an upper body injury shortly after that. So even though the fight was kind of a draw, you got to give the after the fight, you give that to Reeves because Reeves kept playing. Um, so scoreboard, baby. Love that. Yeah. So that was kind of exciting. Fun fact for that game. Here's a list of teenagers with multiple 5-point games in NHL history. So these are teenagers, anybody 19 and younger with 5 points in one game in NHL history. Wayne Gretzky, Dale Halverchuk, Brian Trottier, and Macklin Celebrini. So
Wow.
three Hall of Famers and Macklin Celebrini. Love that. Love that stat. That's great. That's great stuff. We love that. Macklin Celebrini also just kind of while we're talking about it right now. Let's see. There's you know what? Actually, we're gonna circle back to it. But the fewest games to 70 NHL points in franchise history for Macklin Celebrini. Um, he's did it in 77 games. So Sharks history, fewest to 77 games, fewest to 70 point NHL points. He did it in 77 games. So just barely over a point a game right now in his career. That's great. And he's doing it on a really bad team too. So if he happened to be doing it on a really good team, he'd have got there even quicker, obviously, you know, if he had better pieces around him or whatever. So this is excellent. The previous record holder is a really old name, Pat Falloon. In 1992, he did it in 95 games, and he did that in 1992. Sandis Ojelins did it in 100 games. Devin Setaguchi had 105 games. Logan Couture had 112 games to get to 70 NHL points. So that's your top five now. Okay. Couple other Macklin stats that we'll get to in just another a little bit after I read some more scores. So then they go to New Jersey. They lose that game. Unfortunately, 3-1. Eklund gets the lone goal for the Sharks in that one. Askarov played a hell of a game though in that one. He had a 931 save percentage. He only let in 2 goals. The other goal was an empty netter. So and then they go to Minnesota and then they get the win there, and that one's in overtime. Celebrini gets the overtime goal in that one. Eklund had 2 goals in that one as well. Misa gets his first career goal in that one. Reeves and Toffoli also had goals. So Askarov allowed in a few more goals in that one, but this is also the first time that a Sharks goalie has started back-to-back games this season. So back to the Macklin stats that I was teasing. In NHL history, only 2 teenagers have had more points than Macklin Celebrini through 9 games of a season. So Macklin has 15 points through nine games of a season right now. As a teenager, only Brian Trottier and Wayne Gretzky, same 2 names that I just read. Okay. It ties. He tied Sid Crosby and Elias Pettersson. They also had 15 points as well through 9 games. Okay, so that's fun. We love that. And then there's also just a fun fact. Ryan Reeves had a pregame. There might be a new superstition for the Sharks. He did a little Triple H impression where he did the water thing and did the spray. So that might be the new superstition for the Sharks. So watch out for that. So now the important thing, the win of the week. So upcoming schedule, you have the Kings on Tuesday. All these games are at home, by the way. You have the Devils coming over here on Thursday. And then you got back-to-back games, Colorado and Detroit, Saturday and Sunday.
I gotta take Detroit because it's my day. They're gonna win it for me.
Okay. That's fair. All right. So Sam, you're gonna take Detroit on your wedding day. All right. I am going to take I'm tempted to do you know what? I'm going to take the LA Kings game. It's a weirder start time, so that makes me a little trepidatious about it, but It's starting at 8 p.m. instead of 7, but you know what? It's fine. I'm gonna go with it. That is what it is. We're gonna get Tyler's pick from him, and then we'll just add it to the doc. As it stands right now, I'm the only one with a point on the board. They only have 2 wins on the season so far, and both of those wins came this week, and I picked one of them. So there we go. Let's switch gears. There was a couple of games from the U.S. women's national team this week. So they played Portugal twice. Um, the first game happened on Thursday, I believe. Yes, Thursday, and they lost to Portugal 2-1. It was Alex Morgan's retirement game. She had in her career 224 caps, 123 goals. So basically a goal every other game in her career for the U.S. women's national team on average. Pretty good if you can get it, you know. Right off the rip, 33 seconds into the match, Rose Lavelle scores. Portugal ended up clawing their way back, getting goals in the 41st minute off of a corner, and then the 73rd minute off of a similar set piece as well. They kind of Portugal plays a little weird setup as well. So they play 4 on the back line, and then instead of having 4 midfielders and then 2 forwards, they play a diamond instead in the midfield. So it's a really weird setup, and it allows for a lot of chaos. And it was kind of like the U.S. had a lot of trouble breaking down the chaos. And sometimes when the chaos happens, especially on set pieces like a corner or like off of a foul, that's when weird stuff happens. One of like off of that set piece, one of the goals came in off of somebody's arm, off of a defender's arm, and then it just kind of bounced around, and shit happens. So that's kind of how things happen, and they Portugal couldn't really get the final third attacking going like they in the regular traditional run of play. So that's having to do it off of a corner, off of a set piece. That tells me that their regular program is still not quite up to where the US is. A little bit of trickeration had to happen to make it to get the goals to happen. That being said, shouldn't have allowed those goals. The defense needs to clean that up. There's no excuse for it. And then they did clean it up. They played on Sunday, and they get the win 3-1. That was the Alyssa Nair retirement game. Olivia Moultrie comes in and scores 44 seconds into that game, and then she scores again in the 10th minute. Uh, um, the lone Portugal goal came about 4 minutes after that first goal, so it was 1-1, and then after the 10th minute, it was 2-1. Sam Coffey subbed into the game, and then got the insurance goal around the 80th minute or so. So that was very encouraging to see. You can, come in and stabilize. And Sam Coffey is probably going to end up being the captain of the U.S. women's national team at some point too. So look out for that. Once Lindsay Heaps is, once her career is, on the back end, and that's probably after this World Cup, maybe in like 3 to 5 years or so. We'll see. That's still time to tell. Upcoming game is in a couple more days against New Zealand in Kansas City, and then after that, we're talking end of November, beginning of December in Florida. So that's what we have to look forward to for the women's national team, and then after that, on Saturday, Bay FC plays their final game. So we'll talk about that when we're back from all of our shenanigans and stuff. That being said, we got just one last little bit of stuff to talk about because today is the sports equinox. We are going to talk a little bit about baseball, and it is the World Series. Right now, Toronto is up 4-2 on the Dodgers. They're in the fourth inning, I believe, right now. Maybe. It's the bottom of the fourth. That being said, the series is tied 1-1 in game one. They got a pinch hit home run, grand slam. Excuse me. It's the first pinch hit grand slam in the history of the World Series. Uh, would have thought that would have happened at some point in the 121 years of the World Series. So, surprised that hadn't happened before. But um, Toronto blows out LA 11-4 in game one on Friday night. And then on Saturday, Yamamoto throws the first complete game in a decade for the Dodgers. Allowed 1 run, 4 hits, striking out 8. It's the first complete back-to-back complete games in the playoffs since Kurt Schilling in 2001, and first Dodgers since Oral Hershiser since '88. Dodgers take game 2 5-1, tying the series at 1 game apiece. And like I said, they're playing right now. Toronto is up in the fourth as we speak. So, like we said, it's the sports equinox. It only happens a couple times a year. This year, it only happens probably once, maybe. We might get something on Thursday, maybe, depending on how this series goes. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what the series looks like actually. Now that I think about it. So yeah, this is where you have all 4 major sports playing on the same day. That's what it means. So you have baseball, football, basketball, and hockey all have games happening on the same day. So it's kind of a fun thing that happens.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's just kind of a fun thing that I like when weird shit happens. You also have soccer happening too right now, also because MLS playoffs are happening. I don't care though right now, not until John Fisher sells. I don't even have that on the TV.
FJF.
Yeah, FJF. Anyway, so that's it for the show doc, I believe. Yeah. Um, yeah, unless you got anything else to add.
That's it, my man. I
Yeah,
think we hit all the major points that we wanted to hit.
yeah, we got a tight hour out of it.
So
Yeah, this is yeah.
we'll see all the
So,
fans in 2 weeks.
yep, that's right. So just as a reminder, we are not recording next week. We're taking next week off for the big celebration of Sam's wedding. So thank you all for tuning in this week. We'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks. Remember to like and subscribe and slide into those DMs. And thank you all for tuning in. Catch the shorts if it's something. If you only want to hear about certain subjects, and I don't know, just hit the bell. And thank you for paying attention to our nonsense. And FJF, have a great night.